Yeah. Hey, so there was a question, what would the role of a recruiter be in the recruiting culture? And I just want to address that really quick. Uh, so the role of the recruiter in the recruiting culture is the same, right? So when we think about a recruiting culture, again, it's not about this formalized recruiting process. I mean, it's really talking about the culture is has a talent mindset, right? They understand that attracting, developing, retaining talent are core expectations of all employees, right? So that means your manager is doing more to recruit you, to re-recruit you. Your manager is actually, when they are recruiting for a job, they are not just posting and praying. They're actually getting out there, networking on LinkedIn, doing whatever they can. They're ambassadors for the company and telling the company's story. Recruiting's job is still there, right? And you are still doing that. They are actually meeting with talent, and recruiting is facilitating that. I have we have this thing to where a lot of recruiters believe that their job is to um, be transactional, right? And so I'm telling you today, your job is not transactional. Your job is to be a consultant. And so what does that mean? That means that, hey, based on my conversations with your talent manager, your HR VP, and understanding that you just attrited in this area and you're missing this skill, this is a gap. I think we need to address it. And I have 5 people that I would like you to meet with, right? I know you're not hiring for it today, but we need to be proactive about this. It'd be great for you to get to know them, right? So it's really about being a consultant and driving the agenda that you have, right? You can't snap to other HR's agenda, talent management's agenda. You have to snap to your own agenda when you're driving talent scouting, and then figure out how it informs these other agendas or vice versa, right? So that is key.
Yeah, and I have to echo that, Chris. I mean, the way I think about it, recruiting's job, recruiter is the architect, right, of the framework. So recruiters
Exactly.
control the framework and they build the framework, and then all the other employees and leaders they actually help fill in the content. And if you've got everyone pulling in the same direction to get great talent, it's easier for the recruiter to be that consultant and to be that trusted advisor to help the organization, right? This isn't a recruiting culture does not mean you don't have a recruiting leader. It means, or recruiters, it means those recruiters and recruiting leaders are thinking more strategically about what does the brand look like? What do the messages look like? Where do we go, right? How do we architect this, and how do we get other people to go do the work and to pull it away from some of the transactional things that a recruiter, to your point earlier, is not an order taker. They're actually a partner collaborating and architecting the overall talent strategy at
Absolutely.
whatever level in the organization you need to do that at.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, it's like everybody has switched from the term recruiter to talent acquisition because, like I said in the beginning, I think there was a realization that recruiting is just a very small piece of what we do, right? There's so much more that we do. And so when we think about that picture of being an architect, that is the talent acquisition recruiter, our talent acquisition consultant's role, is to architect all of these different pieces that attract talent, whether it's the leader activating them, whether it's the social media campaigns, even allowing the leaders to understand how to be more active on social recruiting. All of those things, you are the architect and the kind of the orchestrator, conductor of all of these tools to attract talent, right? So recruiting has a significant role. We can't think of our job as so narrow. Our job is not narrow, but it is if we make it that way.
Well, it's like
So
going back to the example of, if you're going to do a Broadway play or you're going to make a movie, the recruiter is directing all those stars and all the support folks that are going to make that happen, right? And
that's
so
right.
it's a great place to be as a recruiter. One of the last bullet on this slide is really, I think, the most powerful thing that an organization can do to build this recruiting culture is to give people freedom, responsibility, and accountability for successful talent wins, enabling that. So it's across the board, not just the recruiter. It's all the people. They know what their role are. They know how to go about getting things done, and they've got the freedom to innovate and do some of the things that are going to bring more talent to the company. It's not going to be all the same thing. Not everyone's going to be outreach and phone calls and doing all those things, but everyone's got a part, and they need to know their part, be responsible and accountable for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's completely right. I think there's companies out there. It was funny. We were competing with Facebook, and we were going back on this intense thing. We were trying to there were all of these research people that were suddenly becoming available, and I'm calling down on this research guy from this University of Toronto or something like that, and I'm trying to get him to come to Microsoft. And the same guy that I'm calling he was being called by Mark Zuckerberg. It's like, who the hell do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win? Me or Mark Zuckerberg, right? So that's a recruiting culture, right? Where leaders are willing to jump into the process and help recruiting bring wins to the table, right? Understanding that, look, we're all owners in this company, right? Look, and that's it. When I go, it's like, I'm not subservient to you. I have just as much skin in the game as you getting this hire as you do, right? Because I'm a stock owner. The stock price is going to go up when we get this person, and we're both going to win, right? So let's partner on this to figure out the best way we can get this higher. You got go dues, and I got go dues. So there we go, right? So that's how we think about it. But recruiting culture, I mean, heck, man, it's like you can't compete when you get your leaders involved. Recruiters do not compete. They just can't compete. They can reach people that we can't reach, right? So why not leverage them?
Yeah, even if you think about the case where it's a developer to developer conversation or a project manager to a project manager conversation, Absolutely. That candidate is going to relate more to the person doing the job, and it's the recruiter's job to help the person who is a developer be a better recruiter
yes.
and know what to say.
Thank you. That is it.
And
There's a lot of coaching.
Yeah.
Modeling, coaching. That's all key. Recruiters will. That doesn't mean you're not going to be recruiting. You're still recruiting, right? Yeah. There's people that you can reach, and there's people that your leaders and your team can reach. So